I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Welcome, Grafton.
You say thank you now. We don't know.
No.
Do we have a sign-in sheet, or do we want everyone to introduce themselves for minutes for Roger?
I do have a sign-in sheet.
Okay. We can just make sure that everyone put their names down so we can reflect it in the minutes properly.
I wrote everybody's name so far.
I don't think there's anybody here that Monica doesn't know.
Nope.
We'd have our cameraman here, but.
Right.
You're all set. I got you covered.
So how do you want to start this?
I mean, this was a request from the Grafton Select Board after the town, we had sent the town of Grafton a letter in December, around the 16th or so. Basically identifying the costs that the town of Canaan was being burdened with the additional calls and things like that. So we had made a request that it's costing the town $1,400 a call. And it's actually $1,409 now, but 1,400 is the correct number, and we're trying to see what we're able to do with how to deal with going forward the expense to the town of Canaan and still be able to assist Grafton with service. So that's the purpose of the meeting, is to have that conversation.
We actually started back in September.
Yeah,
We met to get a preliminary meeting, and the problem hasn't changed since then. I did bring it back to the town, and we've discussed it several times in our board meeting, and we've discussed it with the ambulance department. Everybody's aware of it. It's just it's tough to get people to fill the roles that are necessary to man our brand shiny new ambulance, which is unfortunate.
I mean, it's been a problem and it hasn't changed. And I don't think it's going to change.
Right. Well, I mean, you're not the only town that's
Right.
struggling with it. I
All
mean,
the small
you know,
towns are.
Went out, a year ago to a year now.
Yeah, Warren went close with our business.
And struggles with theirs too. They've been from our bed for 12 hours a day for their daytime coverage. So it's not easy for us either. So
We have two people that respond, maybe once in a while, somebody else. So if one of us is not there, we don't have coverage. So it's not a viable
right.
entity right now at all.
So I guess the question, we had sent the letter and sparking this conversation, and we also sent you the draft invoice, and that was as of September.
Yeah, we received that.
So what we have determined as of the end of the year, there was 126 EMS calls, and that runs close to $177,000 to the town. So I guess the question is, what is the town of Grafton looking to get out of this meeting so we can, move forward at this point?
See what you have to offer.
I mean, realistically, given where we are, it's basically, we have the 1,400 per call is what the expense is. And, I guess the question is, you hear rumors and things like that. Is the town of Grafton looking for Canaan to just take over the EMS service, or are they looking to just manage how we're managing now and paying on a per call? I don't know what you're.
We're looking at every option that's available to us.
Right.
Yeah.
What ultimately is your plan? What's your goal?
Our goal is to provide the best service for our citizens that we can. Obviously, we're unable to do that, and we appreciate the assist that we're getting from Canaan. If it weren't for that, I don't know where we'd be right now.
Those people are going.
We have less people in town. It's not a good situation at all. And we've had it for both our emergency squads. Fortunately, the fire department's been able to beef up somewhat, but the ambulance has not. And so we're looking for coverage, and I'm not sure if we're looking for 24/7 coverage or exactly what, but Basically, when we received your $1,400 offer after we, passed out.
Exactly, we passed that.
Did we have to come for a call? I didn't pick either. Yeah, I mean, this is not anything that we're saying, okay, that's what we think everybody in the world should be paying. It's actually just the percentage of calls that go to Grafton based on our budget. I mean, it's.
And that kind of help is not gonna change.
Right.
Today, they had to go down.
And that 126 is just EMS bill?
Yes.
126, but
That wasn't hundred and twenty-six to us.
126 is the total calls for you
Total
guys.
That was 2025.
Our total calls down to, Grafton was 63.
I thought you said 63 was through September now.
No, that's the total call for the year.
Okay.
in your,
And our total calls for the year were
135 by the end of December. I know I talked to Steve and to Chris Olson, and something that had been flying around years ago when we were all experiencing the same problem is to be more regional. So I talked to the selectmen too, that because I cannot see ours surviving. It's just John and I. John does that, transfers. When I retire from the school, I still need to make a living. I've talked to Steve about doing transfers. Nobody's in town again. I would like to see something where taking over has a bad sound to it, but we kind of merge into,
Regionalization is becoming the big buzzword now because it's just multiple towns in order to share costs and things of that nature. I guess the most difficult part of it is the level of the costs that things have become at this point, and Grafton having to, do that. So, it comes down to, I don't know if Grafton is budgeted for this year or, which is kind of that's another issue. And where do we go from here? I mean, that's the question. I mean, the town of Canaan, from all conversations, is open to pretty much any of these options, but it can't be a one-way option going forward. And that's what we have to make sure.
Well, what are your options that you're presenting to us?
Well, I mean, the one thing, the 1,400 calls is an easy thing. The other thing is to come up with a value of what an annual contract would be. And the other is actually absorbing and merging Canaan and Grafton's service, which would then mean, we would be operating that ambulance, and part of that process would be, okay, well, you just bought a brand new ambulance and it has X amount of value, and is that something that's getting transferred as part of this? That's like an offset for 5 years, for 3 years or 5 years or whatever the term is. And once that's done, though, then we're going to be having that everybody has to pay their share. You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those, we would start with operating under what the share cost would be. And then if we were including something like that transfer and use of the facility, then we apply that cost and then say, well, we need to get this much after that. And then actually have to create an intermunicipal agreement. At that point, that would be 3 to 5 years long, depending on how this is arranged.
So to put that in my own words, that option would be, if we had the ambulance, if we had the ambulance, are you suggesting we transfer it to Canaan?
I'm saying that if we were going to be regionalizing it, because basically that's just another list. The way it would operate is if the town is operating the ambulance at that point, and it becomes part of the overall capital expense for the town of Canaan, like if we're gonna call it, that's their regional department, then yes, it would transfer ownership to that group.
And that would offset the cost for you, for whatever year,
we
a couple, 3, whatever that is, then after that.
Yeah, I heard a number like 280,000 floated, and if you said, well, it was 3 years, well, that would be like 90,000 a year would be applied to that. You know what I mean? Something along
Right.
those lines.
So basically the ambulance would offset cost initially, then we'd go back to it. We'd go to a regular contract where there would be a fee.
Right, well, there would have to be the 90,000 plus some level of a fee, because it's way above that, you know what I
Okay.
mean? So but there would be a combination for the first however many years, and then it would become fee-based.
And that would be for coverage 24/7.
I mean, it's
basically.
what we're covering now.
When a
24/7 medic level truck.
call for Grafton comes in, the phone would ring or whatever rings in Canaan, and you would respond to that call.
Correct.
I think right now what happens is the call goes to Grafton, they wait a few minutes and
And then we get the
then
second.
you get the call. So there's a little bit of a delay
They
there.
wouldn't get that. They,
So it'd be direct at that
when,
point.
when we get a call, we're doing whatever we're doing. We have to drop everything, get to the station, then
Right.
call. They have people right here on scene, they get in the ambulance, and they'll go.
So
So
potentially you're gonna answer the calls faster.
We
I mean,
typically
but-
will keep Grafton the scene if we're dispatched out at the same time on an echo level call.
Say it again, Steve.
We will typically beat Grafton the scene
Mhm.
to most calls if we're dispatched out at the same time.
You might beat them anyway with giving us a 5-minute head start.
Another thing is that you have paramedic level.
no, we only have A's.
Yeah.
So it's a
So that's-
paramedic
that's-
level that it's covered 24/7.
So right now, when we're doing paramedic intersect, there's a fee, an additional fee for that. Fee.
Yeah, we get that fee. We get that fee too,
Mhm.
correct? Yeah.
So that seems like a larger conversation that would take more time. Is that something that goes to vote? And if so, like what are, what's our short-term solution? Because like you, we're in a bad position too, because you can't put a value on life.
Mhm.
We are not a wealthy town either. So
None of
it's
us.
not- yeah, it's
Whole
not-
area.
we can't continue to pass this cost on to our taxpayers.
Right.
That's our responsibility. So, yeah, I mean, in theory, if that were the chosen option over the next couple of months to say, okay, all the parties want to regionalize, what is the process legally to do that? And voting and,
Well, from what I understand, it would be an advanced version of what we just signed with Dorchester. You're signing a contract. The issue is if you're absorbing the department, it's a different discussion. If we come up with
merging, let's call it merging.
okay,
Kathy prefers a term that's more friendly.
Take over.
if, I would have to double check, because I wasn't sure where this conversation, but I would double check with the attorney. But the town is not incurring expense to do this. We're already doing what we're doing. We're just looking at the reimbursement and the potential of taking over an ambulance. And we may have to have it for taking over the ambulance. And we could write that into the contract going forward if we had to have it had to be a warrant article. Or I can talk, but because we're not gonna have this done by Saturday.
Right, well, and
So-
then, what Grafton, what it would look like from your perspective, and sometimes your town has difficulty.
Well, you know what we're
Moving
having with the
forward.
police chief,
Not Grafton.
So, and you're in the
Bye.
same, you're in the same boat
Yeah.
because our deliberative session's
Oh, I'm
on
sorry.
Saturday.
Loved it.
The thing is,
A week from Saturday, I don't know when yours is, I don't know, when we can put a warrant on.
Ours is
We
this
need to put
Saturday.
an article on the warrant for
We
that.
can't.
So it's beyond the time to do.
Well, no,
that.
you on deliberative session, there can be a motion to put a new warrant article on there. Like you can, I think you can add warrant articles.
No.
Not warrant articles. I know you can change them. I didn't know if you
You
can.
can change the number,
You can amend them,
Right.
Yeah.
but you can't add them.
but they have to, that warrant has to be posted in 7
Yeah.
days prior.
Well, 14 days before
I think it's
Only
gotta
thing
be-
we can do there is change our operating budget for our ambulance.
ambulance budget.
The,
itself.
We can change the budget for our ambulance.
yeah,
that
because
day.
$19,000 just doesn't do it anymore.
with the actual,
That's your ambulance budget?
decision has got to be put
The rest
before
of
the
it
voters.
comes out of my
Yeah,
revolving
correct.
account that
It
we
is.
get from, insurance.
It's 19 plus 22 is what
Right,
that.
the other part comes from the revolving account.
Right, yes.
So
There
the
are
times people get a
revolving
brand new
budgets,
ambulance,
19.
a brand new, cardiac monitor, a brand new Lucas and stuff with no cost to them at all. They're used to not having to pay for this. And unfortunately, if the town says, we don't want to do this, we don't want to pay more money, they're not gonna have an ambulance because John and I won't be there anymore. And that's what they've got to realize. This is the future.
The reality is we can't.
Right.
Either.
They've got to realize this is what's happening. everywhere.
Does Danbury still have ambulance?
No.
Danbury pays 200 and,
Danbury's bill this year was 250 something, almost 260 this year.
and they have the same, to Bristol, and they have the
Okay.
same number of calls that we do.
Yeah, I was just wondering if Danbury was still doing, so apparently they're custom,
Some places.
they're contracting the service.
They've always had to
Like
because they
Bristol.
don't have an ambulance there.
So, what we can do is, I mean, if we're gonna come to some sort of an agreement on what the piece without the ambulance would be, here's what you're paying for coverage, we'd have to come up with something with with an understanding that says we're going to move towards this over the next 3 years or whatever. I mean, I think that part can be done. And based on your budget and what you guys can do, you'd have to tell us, well, what are you gonna be able to pay over that in this first year? And that's really where we start. Cause it's ultimately gonna end up in the $150,000+ range.
Probably north of that, in
North
3
of
years, the cost is not gonna go down, so.
No, I'm saying like in, today's dollar, something
Yeah.
in that neighborhood above that. If we do move towards take over the ambulance and offset, after that, that's what it's gonna end up. So, it's basically, the Canaan Select Board's decision to say, well, what are we gonna charge? And for you guys to let us know, what do we think we can make work while we make this transition possible?
Well,
It was the revolving account.
I see you've got a number of different options in the papers. So can you explain them? Because we're just now receiving them, so it's hard to try to read them.
Well, there's really, this isn't options,
Those
this
options
is,
are old rates.
These are old.
oh, yes,
All old ones.
this is the old, contract.
No, those aren't the current,
Right.
those are just, there was some commentary out there that like, we've never had contracts before and things like that. And we
Yeah.
found these and we just wanted you to have enough. These have nothing to do with any of this conversation. As far as that goes, the options as we see is the 1,400 per call, some sort of annual contract. And then,
Potentially. if you
Merge.
do a merger,
Visualization.
that would be a part of that.
yeah, but those are the three options and, I think long-term,
Basically, we should never have been presented these options because it's a misleading. Opening that up and reading them.
no, there were, no, those were the old contracts.
No, I understand, but we should never have been given them because I'm sitting here reading them and it's like,
Look at the numbers, you know.
right,
it's not-
exactly.
They weren't there for the numbers, they weren't there.
So I could see the dates on some of these, by the signature of the selectman, I know that guy's not selectman, he used to be. So I understand that they're historical documents. But if we were gonna move towards a merger, what does it mean? What do we have to do this year?
Well, this year, as far as I could see where in the time frame we're in is probably we'd have to get a contract together for providing service, whatever we're gonna provide for this year. And during this year, we work on the process of what is it gonna look like? And what are the legal moves we have to make it actually happen to get the voter approval? It may take another year, but
I don't
You know.
foresee anything being able to happen this year.
no, but
as far as that.
there could be a memorandum of understanding that assuming that the voters approve the article. This year, Grafton would pay this amount of money with the assumption that $90,000 or whatever it is would be part of the offset. And then even though we haven't done the merger, it would be the next year when the contract becomes real, we've already offset 1 year. So there, in a memorandum of understanding, you can cover those kinds of things to say, we can move forward. We're not taking over. We're not merging at this point, but we're headed in that direction and we want this year to count. You know, and we'd have to get the legal documents to deal with that. But the first thing is, you know, coming up with a number and provide the service, and then we will figure out the legal piece of it. But I think the first part of it is a contract to say, here's what we're gonna pay for 2026. It's gonna be cash. And I think that's the first piece.
What's the lifespan of it?
I'm sorry.
What's the lifespan of
We have
it?
to amend the budget on your deliberative
Seven,
session.
10?
And the stuff that's in the, yeah, can we touch that? I don't know if we can touch that.
I don't think so.
What's that?
Well, we have a revolving account.
I don't think we can touch that.
Insurance, so you can touch it.
You must be able to touch it, because Dalton's always trying to put it in
Exactly.
CDs, because she's just,
Yeah.
so no one's gonna steal it.
So,
Exactly.
and we don't need the article to buy a new ambulance because that becomes unnecessary.
Right.
If we're gonna be in a regional partnership or whatever we call it with Canaan, with another town, we don't have to have a capital reserve to buy a new ambulance.
Right.
That's gonna go under a different system. What we do have to have is a memorandum of understanding, so we know where we're going, an idea of what we want to do, and legal opinions to see
Right,
what we
because
can
what-
and can't do.
Because our operations budget, our operations fund for EMS is also a revolving fund. It's not, you know, a general fund. It has its own separate, it's an enterprise fund. So that's why the rules are a little different. We'll have to check those things.
We'd have to do is next year, for voting, is take and put that CD, the ambulance CD on the ballot to change it from what it is, to use it to help out, set the
So
cost.
in other words, we can't use it this year. We could use,
Not the CD, but you can use the insurance money.
what's the CD?
Yeah, we take
Capital reserve.
$20,000 every year,
Yeah, the capital reserve,
and we put it into the
but the
CD.
revolving account, we could.
Yes,
But
There's gonna be resistance to that, you know.
but the thing being is you already have resistance, because the thing being is you got nobody on the ambulance that can respond.
People don't, they don't
they
seem to
don't
get that.
understand that, they don't
I
understand.
know they don't
When
understand it, but they don't wanna come and volunteer and put their time in to be part of that
And
ambulance.
they,
And then what's gonna happen is when you have nobody responding and people start to pass away, then what? Then they're gonna come back at the selectmen and say, well,
Yeah,
how come you didn't do something to, because all these people are dying because you didn't do anything.
Well,
It's a no-win situation in a sense.
it's not exclusive to Grafton. The general thinking is with people is we need these services, but we just don't want to pay the price.
they take it for granted that we go
Yeah.
there. I'm not gonna worry about it, John and Kathy always show up.
Bitching about our streetlights right now.
Right.
But
yeah, and our emergency manager.
if you're talking about, you know, for another year before a merger, whatever we wanna call it, that you can't just take all the money out of the capital.
No.
I'm out of the revolving account, because that's half of what my
Right.
budget for the year is.
But if we then we're gonna pay $1,400 a call. Is what it boils down to. He's saying paying $1,400 a call for the first year, and then we'll come to an agreement. Or we come up with a figure.
We come up with a figure that says, we're gonna just sign a contract for the year.
I mean.
Yeah,
And then
The
base that on the fact that, let's assume you were gonna look at it as a merger.
Yeah.
And then figure out how that's gonna work. And
This
then
should be quite a bit in
you
there.
say, well, we're gonna give you in good faith and credit, this credit towards what's coming in the future type of thing.
based on the value of the
Someone's trying to
ambulance.
join the meeting.
We'll give you a credit.
Right.
Someone in the lobby, okay, I popped up for a second.
So, yeah, I mean, that's
So
That's the-
what would
I think
happen with
that's our
the
best
ambulance?
option.
I mean, would it
gonna
still
end
be
up-
stationed at the Grafton?
Well, these are things that'll be worked out in the memorandum and then ultimately the contract.
Yeah, we don't have space right now.
Oh, you're gonna add on?
Well, it is.
No, well, I don't wanna do that either.
Yeah.
I would say that at the end of the day, in any conversations I've heard, there was gonna be an ambulance maintained in Grafton.
Okay.
All right, that's what we're asking.
Yeah,
That was the assumption, but we don't know which one it's gonna be. There'll probably be some sort of rotation or, you know what I mean? It's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Okay, so when a call comes,
Well, it depends.
Then
If
people's
we're
gonna-
manned here, we might be sending from here, just like we are now.
oh, but it's gonna be, but a ambulance will be housed in the Grafton.
Correct.
So there's some caveat to that. If that's an ALS level truck, a medic level truck, and it has narcotics on it, then it can't be open like it is to that fire department because they're separate services. So
So you mean they can't, I've heard that they won't be able to move the truck, the ambulance out of the fire
right,
station.
they wouldn't be able to have access to that ambulance.
So I think though
That'd be an
that.
issue.
That's gonna be an
something
issue.
that's important to
Let me tell you why.
understand is, yeah, if ultimately we merge, it's not going to be a takeover, so you'll have input into the contract as well, so those nuances we'll work out through that process.
Okay.
But if you're not happy with what's being presented and we don't merge, ultimately it's your town too, so.
Yeah.
In my opinion, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not
Yeah.
a takeover. We don't want people in Grafton to
No,
suffer.
You know,
We
I-
just don't want people in Canaan to pay.
I totally understand.
Well, no, we don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We've seen that.
I think Canaan is our best option, and I've had people request that we go and ask Lebanon to cover Grafton.
But
which-
Lebanon's too far.
It's just,
to even
I'm
think
too,
of.
it's
Lebanon can't
too
cover-
embarrassing to ask.
Well, two problems here. Geographics, Lebanon is looking to pull back from Enfield because they are stressed with coverage.
This is it. It's hurting everywhere. It's
Yeah.
not just Grafton, it's not just the Upper Valley, it's not just New Hampshire. It is a national issue.
So council, council, we're looking to take away the 20,000 that's coming into the capital reserve.
All right.
Because, almost $80,000, the insurance.
Done a good job.
So, take a 22 out for this year's budget, it's still gonna leave us,
Mhm.
close to 60,000.
Plus 19.
I said include after that.
So it's about 77,000.
I think I'm lost right now.
Yeah.
The 77,000
It's almost 80,000.
that we have between our operating budget.
No, not counting the operating budget.
Just what's in the revolving account right
Just-
now.
Oh, that's just what's in the revolving account.
But then
Yes.
we've got the
And-
warrant article to take from there to go towards the.
That's
capital reserve.
20,000 to come out of there to go into the CD.
Yeah, but then we got our operating budget, which is 19, which adds it back in if we have to, it's
Right.
the same number,
Right, exactly.
I mean, so
about
we could-
$80,000.
are you saying we could start this without adjusting what our budget, without asking for more money to deliver this something? Depending on,
You could,
I mean, it sounds like we might be somewhere.
right,
near
yes.
Well,
Yeah,
Well, and you
depends if we get
could
less
add
calls or more
delivery and
calls.
explain what the process or
Mhm.
what's going on and potentially stop that transfer to your
Right.
certificate.
you
Right,
could
CIP
imagine-
Yeah, we could amend it, take
And
that.
we could amend it right down
to
to
zero.
nothing or close to it.
Not that you'd have to be, but that would be, keep it from going in there and make it, because that confuses things in the future, just. 'cause-
Right,
It does.
exactly.
So I think that we're leaning towards a solution that we merge. And that we,
Let's use this first year as to get all our ducks in
Yeah.
a row.
It's gonna take a year to get
Right,
everything.
exactly. Yeah.
For both of us.
Yes.
And we could come up with, you have the funds to come up with some cash and promise of transfer of ambulance ownership at some point.
well, that's something where we will need some legal opinions
Right,
on too.
Yeah.
Yeah, on both sides here.
But, and we understand that some of these things we're not gonna know right away. I mean, the issue is, we have to go into it with the idea that whatever contract we come up with for this first year, that's what we're gonna get, and we're hoping to move to other things.
Right.
That would be counted in that. I mean, I think
Now,
it's,
does this contract have to go to a vote of the people of Canaan?
This is contract for this year would not, but if we go into a merger, then I would bring it before voters and,
No,
in the
John
next
has people.
circle.
And
What's that?
then you're relying on the voters, so yeah.
Yeah,
But-
Ignorant. They sit there and they say,
well, we're covering it now, so it's-
when John and I worked for Canaan, doing transfers or anything else and stuff, it's like, well, if you're working for them, they should cover us for nothing because you're working for them. No, it's the same thing as if I'm working at the school or
Yeah.
anywhere else.
She's right, that's exactly
That's
the argument
exactly
that.
what they're hollering about.
Yep.
And then they say, but they want that money, but then they get the insurance on top of it. And I sit there and I say, Danbury pays $250,000 a year. And they get that insurance, the Bristol gets the insurance. It's the way it works, and they just don't get it.
So as far as the calls go, and I would, $1,400 a call. So we're not really going in that direction. So I guess it's not really a pertinent question, but somebody said, what if they don't? There's different types of calls, I guess.
so that's the blended cost of, that's
So,
the average.
so this will be an average of, it'll cover all the calls,
That's
basically. When
correct.
we come up with this,
there won't be
we
any
don't need to
difference.
worry about that.
Mhm.
Makes sense.
Well, and that's the benefit if we look at a larger memorandum of understanding.
So your operating budget this year was 14,400.
No, for 2026.
That's what I said.
Well, put me down.
That's what,
Let me double check the warrant, make sure that's been changed.
so that would leave us 94,177.70 between that, the
Yeah, it's-
account.
It's just a matter of, we
Yes,
have to come up with the contract portion, and the memorandum is where we want to go, like our goal kind of thing. But the rest of it is, the only part that's concrete is whatever number is added to what this year's cost is gonna be. And then we work the other details out.
That would give us 67.26 calls. You can go Grafton, Lebanon. They kick them out the door.
So after that, get your wheelbarrow.
Yeah.
But, no, so I mean, I think this is a step in the right direction. I knew it was gonna be a difficult 1 year. Okay, we're gonna go from 0 to 100 in a year, but the select board will have to just say, we can make this work at this level. And we go from there.
Yeah, it's definitely changing times and sticker shock time too for
Mhm.
everything.
Everything.
This is something we can, during deliberative session, throw that out so people are aware
That's
that come
coming.
next year, that
Yeah, you're gonna go for another 8-hour deliberative session? Is that what you're
We
hoping?
haven't had any of those in a while, but you never know.
Shut up.
Why do you think nobody's here?
We have to make them realize that if they don't like this idea, they'll have a nice shiny new ambulance, but there will be nobody.
There
to
to
drive
me.
it. And you've got to
exactly.
realize that.
I'll drive it.
You can get a list of volunteers, keep it polished.
Right.
So are you looking for us to provide you with, this is what we think the number should be for the first year?
Yes.
And so that would be a.
77,000, you just said that's what
Well, I
they.
think
Yeah.
it sounded really good to me too.
Yeah.
Well, if we're not gonna be providing ambulance coverage for our own town this year,
Oh,
it sounds like we're not. It's gonna be Canaan.
well,
I'm thinking
for
maybe at the
this
end of the
year-
year, if you take the calls and we divide it all up.
for this year, it sounds like you're looking for John and I to still cover what we can.
In the past,
I mean,
the contract was that they would tone us on first tone too, and then if you could respond, you would and.
Right, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, that would be.
The
what I
way
would
to
think
go,
we would do, because if you and John can respond, unless it's an echo level call, it sounds like you would get there sooner.
In one.
Yeah, I mean,
Echo level, we're probably coming regardless,
Yeah, they
right?
have been.
So,
Yeah, we're in like automatic on the echoes, it seems.
yeah,
His call when it went out at 14:04. Keenan ended up getting turned out to it at 14:19, so 15 minutes later.
Right, because it has to go
And we
through all
were on
those
scene
times.
14 minutes. So it was almost a half an hour before
Mhm.
anybody got there.
So if you're toned to go anyways, are we still paying for that call?
You would have been there in 15 minutes.
We were in there in 15 minutes, yeah, half the amount of time.
So are you looking at, whatever this number is that you come up with, is that for them, all calls for the year?
Yes, I don't see how we can
Mhm.
split that. I mean, I think it's one of those things, it's gonna, in a weird way, it's gonna be a little bit graduated, like, we're kind of getting caught up, but we have to look at, what do we think is gonna help the process?
And the fact is, you cannot, in the next week, tell us what calls you and John would be able to make.
Right.
So, I mean, it's,
Depends when they come, it depends if,
yeah, I mean, so the only two ways of doing it are, this is what it'll cost for Canaan provide service and assist when necessary, or this is what it'll cost each time we respond. The problem there is what we were just talking about is delayed response time
Right.
as far as the care of the people. I mean, you almost have to have joint in this situation.
Well, I think if we, in my opinion, if we can come to some kind of agreement that it's moving that direction, I mean, I'd be happy with, 50, but I mean, or someplace in that range.
that was
That's kinda
my,
where-
that's the number.
Yeah,
was
I mean,
thinking,
it's-
actually.
And I actually went with 60 only because I'm like, well, if you said the 150 on a round number and you take the 90 off for the first year, that's 60. That was where my head was. We're all in the same general.
Yeah, I mean, we're
So,
not
stop
looking
wiping
to
you up.
profit.
Yeah, make it affordable for them.
And we know it's a process to get your budget up to speed to do this as well, so.
Our budget will never be up to speed.
Well, I mean, I hear you, so.
Our total budget's lower than your highway budget.
Well, in a couple of years, your ambulance will be higher than your highway budget.
I don't know how you even put gas in it for what they give you for a budget. It's sad.
They
Really.
turn off the engine when they're going down
Right.
hills.
Is that a hybrid?
Hey, at least we got a gas gauge now.
Yeah.
Hey, we never ran out of gas just because you guys were the float after they replaced the tank on the old thing and the float didn't work and it was like, okay, we know, huh? After so many calls, and we've never had a problem, but people were freaking over it. It's like, they wanted all this money to replace it. Why? You knew the new one was coming sooner or later.
Yeah.
Putting it off. To deliver it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fact of the matter is, we know we're not gonna cover the cost, or you're not gonna be able to cover the cost of what we're giving you right now. But we've gone, I don't know how many years we've been working like this, so.
Yeah.
And it's just come to a point where it's just, we can't keep passing that.
We also don't know how many calls we'll respond to, right? So.
Right, a stroke, it could drop.
And the reality, going forward, I mean, the goal is, we have a couple others we cover, everybody pays their percentage and we're good, for calls. So it's just a math problem.
People, it's just so.
I think as logistics, unfortunately, we are the most central for the coverage that we're doing. Because even for Bristol to cover you folks, that's a logistic nightmare because of the mileage just to get to town.
It is.
I mean, you sat halfway between nowhere.
That's what makes Grafton so attractive.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Bristol's
that's,
got a lot to cover anyway. I mean,
Bristol. Andover has an ambulance and they don't, Franklin does it. They have
Oh,
a brand
really?
new ambulance. And Franklin covers it. New London Hospital, New London Ambulance does everything like Wilmette that way.
Sunray.
Yeah. Plymouth is doing up to 25 corridor and all the way down 3 down Groton,
Wow.
Right.
plus Ashland, and well, some coverage to Ashland. And what's the town up above Ashland? I'm drawing a blank.
New Hampton.
No,
No,
Campton.
Hampton is north.
Hampton's always got Hebron in there.
Warren?
I don't know.
What is
that's
that?
on the highway side.
Yeah, it's where the school
What's
is.
the next one out?
Holden.
Holden, thank you. New Hampton has their own ambulance. Bristol's over there quite a bit. It's just one of those things where it's,
Time to get the people.
you know,
Well, it's even hard for your full-time EMS to hire.
Yep.
I mean, now you ask people to volunteer even as a paid volunteer.
Yeah.
They don't want to.
We've had them, we've put them through, we pay for them to come and, nighttime, well, I have to get up to go to work, so I can't go at night. Well, yeah, guess what? That I've been doing for 20 years. Still getting up and going.
But I guess the question you guys have to think about is, can you get to the 177 or whatever it is in 3 years? And, because that's where, it's gonna be an annual cost going forward. And that's gonna be a big jump.
Yeah,
it'll
that's
be a
gonna be a big jump.
based on volume, but like, that's a good base.
Yeah.
That seems to be where your
In a
volumes
general
have stopped.
vicinity,
Yeah, except for this last year was really low. We're doing really well right now, 17 calls so far.
Yeah.
So, the next step would be that you're gonna send us a figure. Send us a figure of what what we're looking for the first year.
Yep.
Is your deliberative session this Saturday or
Yeah.
This Saturday.
this Saturday? Same as the school.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're at 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
they do it in the morning, then we come in and do it in the afternoon.
Yeah, theirs doesn't last long. Yours probably doesn't either, does it?
Last year it lasted a while, we had 39 warrant articles.
Oh,
Like a third of them off.
Yeah,
The school,
About
the
five.
deliberative session?
There was-
Yeah,
there were
where
3
the
extra
supervisors go there and then maybe
And
2
then
other
there's the
people.
4
About
agencies.
five,
That's
well.
there next year. hopefully.
Breakfast there.
Yeah. I'm one of those 5 people, so.
Do you want us to vote on
Well-
what we propose for a contract amount?
Yes, because basically, this will be kind of a 2-step thing. Because the contract like we just signed with Dorchester, we'd basically be duplicating that, adding some additional language to say for this year, this is what we're doing. And the memorandum of understanding would be coming probably in a month by the time we get that all together, but we could turn this year's contract around very quickly if you give me a direction as to what you want to do.
I'll propose, initial annual payment of 50,000 from Grafton again.
Do we want to be more specific? Do we want to say for 26 and that we'll respond on the first tone? But if they can respond, that they will, and then do we want to say we want a memorandum of understanding by like April 1st, end of April? Because we got deliberative and then town meeting and everything, so.
Yeah, the hope,
Give us
would-
a
we
little
could definitely have it done by then, but I want to make some reference in this contract to the fact that we're working towards
Yeah,
a potential.
so if we say like by April 15th, we'll have.
Next day, that's.
yeah.
This is Steven's motion, but this, if I were him, this would be the
You
things I
can-
might
you
say.
That is fine, Sadie, I'll let you clarify.
You want me to make the motion?
Yes.
All right,
You
so
withdraw yours.
I'm gonna move that we enter into a contract with the town of Grafton to provide ambulance services in 2026, that we would be toned out on the first tone. Is that how it's said, Stephen?
Yeah.
Okay, for a cost of $50,000.
Plus.
That we would, with the goal of looking at a merger, and that we would have a memorandum of understanding in place by end of April 26th.
Grafton
That's-
having first refusal on transport.
And
Yes.
And that's,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what was that again, Stephen? Because that was kind of quick. Our note taker has to get it.
Grafton will have first refusal on transport, so they'll be able to say, yep, we have this.
Okay. So all of my motion, Roger, plus that. That's what I move.
Second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Very good.
Now, I don't know if you all want to discuss. I mean, this is a public meeting for you too, if you want to vote.
And we need to vote too,
We do need to vote.
because we don't wanna leave here, leaving them there. Well, what are they gonna do?
No, we dragged their feet
I
long
mean,
enough.
it is
We
a
don't need to do
contract,
it.
and they will
I'll make a
not
motion
do
that
what
we
they
follow
want to,
their
right?
motion.
I'll second.
Third.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Oh yeah, don't forget the roll call.
Right.
Roll call.
Roll call vote.
Yeah.
You gonna call the roll call, Sarah?
Lee,
Getting very good.
Ed, Steve,
Aye.
Okay, so, what is our anticipated, in some things that we didn't discuss would be when we would have the contract drafted and then what the payment schedule would be. I can see that in prior years, it was like quarterly. I don't know. I mean, in prior contract, not prior year, excuse me, it said something about paying quarterly. So
I don't see a problem with that.
I don't know.
Okay, that's easy. I mean, the
Okay.
contract basically just gonna be modifying the existing contracts we've had in the past
Okay.
to
So-
address that.
Danbury pays all in one chunk, right?
Yeah,
For the year.
they pay, or
Dorchester.
Dorchester paid December 1st, they
Dorchester
paid
paid
the
one
full
chunk,
amount.
Orange was paid.
More advantageous to us. Cause we don't get it until the end of the year from Dorchester.
Yeah, because Dorchester generally pays in December, so.
We like quarterly. Cause we're incurring the
You mean they
costs
pay,
throughout the
they
year,
pay
right?
after
So-
the whole, you've done everything?
Yeah.
A quarterly is
We did
fine.
to let you know, and this was in public session, but we renegotiated rates with Dorchester and theirs increased too. So, cause we had to get more in line with what our actual costs were. We provide coverage for half of their towns. Okay,
I thought it was hot. No?
no. Just half. Or 2/3 or something, but not all. I don't know what the actual percentage is, yeah. Okay, so Chet, do we think that we could have a contract for us to sign? We have our next meeting not Tuesday, but the following, no, we don't have it until the third Tuesday of the month.
Which would be the 17th. It would definitely be done by then,
Okay,
no problem.
so if we had it by the 17th, could you all sign it by the end of of January? When do you meet?
Indicates.
First and,
next
first and
Tuesday.
third.
Same as your house.
Yeah, so that should be in February, not a January, sorry. Third.
If you sign it first, I'll run it down and drop it off on my way home. And then they can do it in the same meeting.
You meet at 6?
Yes.
Okay, so we could do that.
What time do you meet?
6.
6.
But by then we'll
Our
probably have a
meetings
non-public
don't
at
last
5.
too
so-
long. Keep that in mind.
Well, this will be on our first, we make that our first item. on the
Okay,
agenda.
then, boom.
Well, we could, I'm sure, well, we have to do it in
March
public anyway,
3rd,
so, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have no cops
Fire
on duty
station.
that night, so you can fly.
And red lights, call in, shall stay, and I'll be down there.
We know we can get there in 15 minutes, so. Probably faster, but,
Right.
Faster if the roads are good.
yeah,
Mhm.
all right.
So I think this is good.
We're being recorded, I'm saying nothing.
I'm trying to save lives.
I think that this is a good solution though, and I hope we're able to explain it to people in Gotham and they feel the same way.
We'll do our best.
Yeah.
We will.
I'll find out positive vibes for you.
Thank you.
They
I
feel
mean,
it's
here-
strong.
I mean, here again,
It's a week from Saturday.
February 3rd.
Seven.
Seven.
Yeah.
Here again, you've got the numbers that Denver is paying.
Mhm.
And you're in that, actually, you're in pretty much the same geographics and population as,
Yeah.
Just your
One
call-
another,
call book.
No, it's about the same. actually.
Oh, really?
Yep.
We've been talking about this issue in our public meetings, so anybody who watches the tape knows that this is percolating in the background. And, when we spring a price on them, well,
Oh.
we'll see what happens.
yeah.
Should have seen it coming.
Right. So, and I appreciate you meeting with us.
Yes.
Like this is very productive.
you.
meeting.
Agreed. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Move to adjourn.
Make the motion to adjourn.
Yeah.